Welcome back to the channel, my little Padawans. Today, I just wanted to have a little sit-down talk about a couple things that may be on your mind if you're trying to decide to grow your hair out and you're thinking, yeah, I kind of want to grow my hair out, but man, I don't know if I want to deal with all that. Or my hair doesn't work good long. I tried it so many years ago and I only got to ear level and I just couldn't stand it. Maybe you're thinking about trying it again. Maybe you're at the stage I am. Maybe it's longer, maybe it's shorter, somewhere in between. I have 4 pros, 4 cons on if you're thinking about growing it out. So let's start out with con number 1, realistic expectations and goals for growing your hair out as a guy or girl. Let's jump in to the video. So we'll start out with the cons. I hate to start off things on a negative foot, but I figured it'd be nice to end the video positively. That way when you get out of this video, you're thinking, okay, all right, I feel good. I feel like I can do this. Con number 1 is gonna be more advice. So don't set a time goal, set a length goal. And this is one of the things that a lot of guys do. I think is a mistake. I did it also. I set a time goal of 2 to 3 years. I think initially it was 2 years. I said, well, once I hit 2 years, I'm gonna be where I want. I was looking at other people who had grown their hair out and it's just not the case. 2 years is really not gonna be. I'm at 2.5. I'm just over 2.5 years right now. This is not crazy long. I mean, it is long if you have really short hair, but where I want to be at is I want to be mid-back. So if you take into account, I've been doing this for 2.5 years and I want to be down to mid-back, I got a long way to go. That can be really discouraging when you get into it and you're thinking 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, and then you get to a year and it's not as long as you want it, and you get to 2 years and then you're thinking, what the heck, this is not at all. Something's wrong with my hair, with me, my diet, my hair's not growing like it should. Not the case. Your hair's different than everybody else's. Don't set a time goal. Don't tell yourself 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Tell yourself, I have a length I want to get to, and it doesn't matter what it takes to get there. I'm gonna reach that goal of that length. Once I realized that my hair doesn't grow at the rate that some other people's might, or it might not look the same because it's curly, wavy, I realized, well, you know what? I'm gonna stop with the timeline and I'm just gonna say, I want this length, and whatever it takes to get there, I'm gonna push through till I get there. Don't set a time goal, set a length goal. Con number 2 is gonna be negative comments. It's gonna happen, happens to all of us. There's pages out there, Facebook. It's actually, that's a good little side thing to get yourself into a Facebook group. Some ways that you can help support each other. But you're going to get negative comments from family members, from kids, wives, cousins, coworkers. It's gonna happen. I've had all of them. Every single one of those, I've had them. Everybody is gonna say, man, when are you gonna cut your hair? You're looking like a Neanderthal. You're looking like Jesus. You're looking like whoever. They're gonna usually use more colorful language, and they're gonna compare you to maybe not the nicest of people. But every now and then you'll get someone that pops in and says, wow, I really like your hair. You look like this person. And it's a really positive one. Like Jesus would be a positive one. To me, it would be a positive one. I didn't mean to throw him into the negative, because it's not, but there's good comparisons and there's people who say good things to you, but there's a lot of negative. You'll have a lot of people pushing you to cut your hair, push you to cut your hair. So yeah, as long as it's not interfering with your workplace and your career, your job, which hopefully that's not the case, you just have to block that out, and you have to find a support system, a close-knit group of people that'll help you, like those Facebook groups, or a friend or two that's supporting you. I had a friend that was growing his hair out at the same time that I started, and so we helped each other a lot. Con number 2, negative comments, gonna happen. You just have to be calloused and not think about it. Con number 3, most of the days that you have are gonna be bad hair days. You know, there's just so many things that can interfere with how your hair looks when it's long. And a lot of the time I deal with bad hair days. You know, there are some people out there who they're the whole, I wake up like this and they look great. That's a minority, but for the majority of us growing our hair out, I think we would all agree that it's a lot of bad hair days. There's a lot of things you can do to manage it. It just takes more time because your hair is longer. Some things to consider would be the weather that you're in. If you have high humidity, low humidity, the temperature, things like this are gonna greatly affect it. I live in the deep south, so I deal with the hot weather, the extreme humidity. As soon as I go outside, my hair immediately just wants to volumize and look frizzy and crazy. So yeah, that's gonna be con number 3. Con number 4 is going to be comparing. You're gonna do it, you can't help it. We all do it, I did it. I compared myself to people like Jason Momoa, Chris Hemsworth. Those are the people that got me in to being really motivated to grow it out. I wanted that look. Yes, you are gonna compare, you can't help it, but I just caution you to not compare very often. Don't obsess over it. Just focus on yourself, because the truth is your hair is unique. You have the only type of hair that you have. You know, I mean, your genetics are unique. So your hair is special in its own way. Find out how to manage it, find the routine that works for you, and then that'll be great. You'll be more positive if you're not comparing yourself to Jason Momoa's hair. So just focus on your hair and you'll be happy. Number 5 is more of a informative, just expect, just come to know that you're gonna find this out later on the road, and then you're gonna have to figure out how to manage it. But that's gonna be, what type of hair do you have? And more specifically, it's gonna be about what kind of hair porosity do you have? Do you have high hair porosity? Do you have low hair porosity? Or are you sitting in there in the middle, which is where the lucky people sit, who don't really have many issues with the hair? High porosity, real quick, is gonna be where your cuticle is open. It's gonna be the one that causes the dry, frizzy, because your hair is not holding the moisture in. On the flip side of that, low porosity is gonna be the one where your cuticles are closed and they're not letting moisture inside. So that's gonna be the one that tends to be a little more oily, things like that. You can test this out by the cup of water trick. Take a cup of water, drop a few shedded pieces of hair, like 1 or 2, in the water. If it floats to the top and stays at the top, that's low hair porosity, cuticles are closed. If you have high hair porosity, it's gonna immediately start sinking to the bottom because the cuticles are open. Just expect somewhere in your journey that you're gonna have to figure that out once you get some length to your hair, so that you know how to manage it. Because if you don't know the answer to that question, you're gonna have a harder time figuring out what to do with your hair. The first half of my hair growth, I'm just trying everything I can think of to make my hair not be frizzy and dry. And it is the most maddening process. So that answered question will help you really focus down and figure out what you need to do. And it just makes it a lot more pleasant to grow your hair out when you know if you tend to lean on one side of those spectrums. Now that we're past the cons, we're past the negative, push all the negative out, and let's jump into the pros of growing your hair out and what to expect. Pro number 1 is going to be that you will stand out. And that might be my favorite part about this whole thing. Is not that I want people to look at me or anything like that. It has nothing to do with a selfishness in a sense. It just has to do with, I don't like to follow the norms and the trends of everybody. I don't like to wear the same shoes and the styles that everybody is wearing. I like to be different. I like my jewelry. I like, whatever. I like for it to be different. This is just another one of those things. There's not very many guys that have long hair. It's more popular, but there's still not that many. The reason for that is because it's such a long process. There's not many guys that are willing to put in that time. For someone like us to grow our hair out long, it's just so fulfilling, and it feels good whenever people take second glances or they say, I really like your hair, things like that. The fact that you stand out in a crowd and you're not just another fish in the group swimming is really nice. Pro number 2 is going to be your options. So many more styling options. It kind of speaks for itself, but your hair can be up, it can be down, it can be half up, half down. You can do so many things with it, and depending on how you dress, That affects how you do your hair, the shape that it adds to your face, if it's curly or if it's straight. There's so many different pros, so much more, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play with. Pro number 3 is just that feeling of success. This process is not easy at all. There are so many days where you just want to go in the bathroom and take the razor and just get that nice fade and just feel your fingers on that short haircut, feel the wind blowing through it. And you just know, especially in the summertime, you just know it would feel so good. I work outside all the time, so I have my hair up all day. And there's been so many times where I've looked in the mirror and I've looked at my razor and I'm like, I could just take it off right now and it would feel so great. But then I have 2 days later a time where I have my hair done how I want it and I'm dressed up and I'm going somewhere and I'm like, I'm so proud of myself for not cutting my hair and for sticking this out. So just that feeling of success and getting through the process and getting to where your goal is. Meeting a goal is always fulfilling, always. Pro number 3 is definitely the feeling of success. So the last one is gonna be having long hair just makes you feel leveled up. It really does. It's like, if you watch Dragon Ball, it's like going Super Saiyan. It's like, you know, you've hit that next echelon, that next level in your own brain. Maybe not to everybody else, but in your own brain, it's like a level up. It's like you just upgraded or something. I don't know, unless you've felt it and you've reached a point where you know what I'm talking about. For whatever reason, it just feels like confidence boost. I guess that'd be a better way to put it, is it's just a confidence boost. Just knowing like what you're doing and what you have accomplished, what you are accomplishing, depending on where you are in that journey, that you've done something that not many people do. You can compare it to working out or your health. If you've reached a fitness level in your body and aesthetic and how it looks that not many other people have, it's like, it feels so good that I've put in the work to get here and I'm healthy and I'm strong. And it's not something that just everybody does. With hair growth, it's not something everybody does, and it's a process and it's mental, and just knowing that you've done it, you feel accomplished, you feel confident. So yeah, that's gonna be all for today's video, guys. If you have any other questions, comment below. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that every time I post a video, you're gonna know about it. That would really help me a lot if you would support me and my channel. I got plenty of more content coming, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a great day.